Hey guys, the board that I have today is the Pro Shield by Vocas Technology. This is a board that can detect multiple different gases, and in this video I'm going to show you how to connect this straight out of the pack whenever you get it in the mail. Now obviously we're not done. This isn't going to read anything for you. One of the first things you need to do is take your pin headers, which is one long strip, and you're going to have to cut this into sections so it lines up with the sections on your Arduino. Now a simple way to do this, instead of having to count them all individually and cut them off, take your pin headers, take your longest side, because you don't want to count that one, and plug these in to that so that you have all of your pins connected that would be connected to this female header. Now you've already counted out the ones you need to cut, and you can just slip your cutting tool right there and begin the cut without having to tediously count in between the individual ones. Now you're just going to want to squeeze slightly and wiggle a little bit so you don't damage the pins. Now you've got male pin headers that are the correct length for one section on your Arduino. Next, you need to do that for all the sections. Now you've got a stand molded exactly for this, so you can solder these pins onto this board without any slippage or anything sliding around. Okay. Here's a couple tips if you've never soldered before, and if you have soldered before and you know what you're doing, you can skip to this time in the video. Now for the people who haven't soldered, I just have a couple tips. Number one, when you turn your soldering iron on, if you have a display that lets you choose the temperature, you need to be over 180 degrees Celsius, because that's the minimum temperature you're going to use if you're going to solder anything to liquefy the solder. Now I usually use around 300 if I'm not working on delicate components, so in this case I'm probably going to have around 280, 290 C. Okay, now that we have the soldering iron up to about 290 degrees Celsius, let's make sure the tip is cleaned off. And now we can start to solder the pin headers onto the board. First you want to heat up the pin and the pad, and then apply the solder. Now, here comes the complicated part. Connecting the XBee. Make sure this straight edge on the silk screen is lined up with this straight edge on the XBee, and plug it in.